of Fall River New Bedford line. Please, silence your phones. Anthony, if you turn the music down, that would be great, please. Anthony, can we turn the music down? Anthony, music. Great, thank you. Hello and welcome, friends of the Fall River New Bedford line. At this time, I'm going to ask everybody, please, a little courtesy, let's silence our cell phones. And now, I would like to introduce to you the Appoquinnock Regional High School students who are here to sing today's national anthem. Let's give them a round of applause.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Taunton, and welcome to our new train station. We are thrilled to host this historical milestone in restoring rail service to our region. And the kids from Apponequet High School were excellent, and I just want to give a shout out to our Taunton High School band who was here earlier. It is an honor to welcome Governor Healey, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, Secretary Tibbits-Nutt, and General Manager Eng, along with my fellow mayors and our fellow legislators, to celebrate what is really a monumental achievement and what it means to our cities here in this region. Access to transportation is a game changer. Train service just unlocks so many opportunities for employment, economic growth, and recreation. And it's already having a positive impact here in the city of Taunton. Just adjacent to this, we have a beautiful new project that will be built, and it's on its way there. It's going to be about 280 beautiful apartments with commercial space and outdoor space as well. And it's in our TOD zone, which we were really excited about having here in Taunton. And it's also spurred economic development throughout our entire city. So we are grateful to the Healey administration, to previous administrations, different state and federal agencies and contractors, and so many people who have worked so many years to make South Coast Rail a reality. And before I have the privilege of introducing the governor, I just want to take one moment to recognize that it is March, and it is Women's History Month. And we have with us here today some really amazing women leaders in our governor, our governor, lieutenant governor, and the secretary. So it's really a proud day for us here in Taunton. And it is now my honor and privilege to introduce to you Governor Maura Healey.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. It's awesome to be here in Taunton. It's awesome to be here in Taunton, no matter the weather. It's awesome to be here, having had a great ride. I rode from Fall River this morning. The LG rode from New Bedford, and we can finally say, after 67 years, we got here on South Coast Rail. I just want to take a moment to recognize so many people who, for so many years, contributed to seeing this day happen. I want to begin by thanking Mayor Shauna O'Connell for hosting us here in Taunton. I love the work that you're doing. I love the work around the housing that you just mentioned, the vibrancy it's going to bring, the economic development that it's going to bring to Taunton, and to stops all along these exciting lines. I want to thank Taunton High School. The band was awesome. They finished with Crazy Train. Did you hear that? Little Ozzy Osbourne for the morning. They were awesome. Maybe they went back to school. I don't know. And guys, that was beautiful, the singing of the national anthem. Thank you so much from our wonderful students from Apponequet. Thank you. We also have Fall River's Mayor, Paul Coogan, here with us, and New Bedford's Mayor, John Mitchell. Thank you. And members of the City Council in both places. Middleborough Town Manager, James McGrail. Somerset Town Administrator, Mark Alusi. Dartmouth Assistant Town Administrator, Chris Vitale. We have members of the legislature who importantly have put this front and center. Chair Mike Roderick, Senator Mark Montigny, Rep. Alan Sylvia, Rep. Stephen Willett, Rep. Carol Fiola, Rep. Chris Hendricks, Rep. Antonio Cabral, Rep. Chris Markey, Rep. Mark Sylvia, Rep. Justin Thurber, Rep. Steve Howitt, former legislators, including Representative Bill Strauss, Senator Mark Pacheco, Representative Pat Haddad, and Senator Joe Menard could not be here, but also supported this project for many years. We're also thinking of our good friend, Representative Carol Doherty, and all of her passionate advocacy. We want to thank members of our own team, Team Massachusetts, our Secretary of Transportation, Monica Tibbits-Nutt, and the entire mass.gov team, Undersecretary Hayes Morrison, Public Engagement Director for South Coast Rail, Gene Fox. I thought Gene, you should stand up. Stand up and take a bow. Well deserved. Fantastic. We have Mass DOT board members. I see our Sheriff Katusian here with us this morning. MBTA GM Phil Eng is here. Keola's CEO of Dulwich High. MBTA board members, including our chair, Tom McGee, as well as board members Bobby Butler, Shonda Smart. Got a bunch of business leaders. This is about economic development and a whole bunch of things, and that includes Mike O'Sullivan of One Coast South Chamber, Mary Ellen DeFrias, Administrator of the Greater Attleboro-Taunton Regional Transit Authority, and all of the great folks from our RTAs who are joining us. Our Mass Building Trades head, Frank Callahan. Thank you to all the workers on the tracks and off the tracks who got this line ready to go and who are now operating it at a high standard of excellence. And to all the riders and the residents of the South Coast, thank you for hanging with us, and thank you for your advocacy. You know, getting these trains rolling again after 70 years took a ton of advocacy by residents, by local officials, by state legislators, yes, across 7 administrations. Along the way, we know there were obstacles, there were delays, there were disruptions, too many to count. But we have said in our administration that we're not about kicking the can down the road. We're about trying to get things done as quickly as possible. So 2 years ago, we made this a priority, said, Phil, get after it. Whatever you need, support Gene, support the team. And I'm just so excited about this because whether it's getting long-running projects like South Coast Rail delivered or anything else that we want to do, it's about setting goals, setting deadlines, putting the resources in place, and letting the teams do the work. And everybody out here has been part of this team effort, so I thank you as governor for everything you did to make today possible. It's an awesome day, not just for the South Coast, but for Massachusetts, because it shows what's possible. It shows we can actually do hard things, and we can deliver on transformative things. And God knows there's enough that we need to do to deliver for residents in this state, especially in this time. But everybody's got to bring the urgency, everybody's got to bring the teamwork, everybody's got to bring the collaboration on transportation, on housing, on so much more. If we do that, when we do that, there's nothing that can stop us. I want you to hear from, that includes an $8.4 billion transportation plan that's going to be transformative. $8.4 billion over 10 years without raising taxes. We can deliver. We can deliver. Now, there's a woman who couldn't be here today, but who wanted to share her thoughts on today, and she's a Representative Carol Fiola constituent. Her name is Marcia Nobrega. This is what she wrote. She wrote, I've seen it noted that this is the first time in 70 years that a train from Fall River to Boston has run, and I'm one of the few who experienced this. I was an office employee at the Firestone Company at the time, and the company outing was to Boston via train. At that time, I was 21 years old. I'm 90 now. Coming from the lovely town of Assonet, this was very exciting for me and most of the other young girls on board. I have told my children and grandkids all about it, the same way my mother told me the stories of how she and many others would take a train to Fall River. What goes around comes around. We couldn't have said it any better than Marcia did. South Coast Rail finally coming around again. You know, where she boarded many, many years ago, now part of Freetown, it's got its own station, right? And we've got that going to Fall River, to New Bedford, to Taunton, to Middleborough, all the surrounding communities that are going to have access to better rail. This is a win for the entire South Coast region. It's also a win for the cities and towns up to Boston and beyond, whose residents now get to come and experience the wonders and the awesomeness of southeastern Massachusetts and the South Coast. Look, I've talked about this before. We're one state, okay? 351 cities and towns, but we are one state. And we got to be connected. And one of the best ways to do that is through public transit. And now, with this new transit option, people are going to have more options, right? It's not just for how they're going to get around. It's about where they get to live, where they get to work, where they get to go to school, where they get to shop or go to a restaurant. It opens up huge possibilities for people and improves quality of life. One big quality of life improvement is you can get on a train, grab a Dunks, and just sit and chill out for a little bit, read a paper, scroll, go online, whatever, do some work, you know, all that, like time back in your life. And it's going to help with traffic congestion, which is something that we've made a priority. We want shorter commute times for both train riders and car drivers, so that families are spending less time on the road and more time together. It means more customers for our local businesses and cultural attractions, and that's going to help us grow the economy, create jobs. And now we have a system-wide program for a low-income fare discount. South Coast Rail also means more affordable transit for those who need it most. It's really, truly a service for everyone. So I just encourage you to get out there and plan your first trip. This morning, the first train left out of Fall River, 5:05, and we had other trains follow. And I know that on one of those trains, a mother was taking her son up to Boston to tour colleges, right? We had other people going in to shop and, you know, check things out. And I encourage people right now. We've got, Phil, we've got things are free, no cost on the fares through the end of the month, free on the weekends through the end of April. Commuter rail parking lots are free, so plan a trip, right? Come visit the amazing South Coast. Come visit southeastern Massachusetts. And for those of you on the South Coast or southeastern Massachusetts, come up to Boston, you know, and see what's happening there. We also have a proclamation because we have a deal. This week is officially South Coast Rail Week in Massachusetts. And now I'm going to introduce someone to you who's been a great teammate, great partner, and somebody who knows firsthand about the incredible benefits of commuter rail, and that is our Lieutenant Governor, Kim Driscoll.
Hey, good morning, everyone. What a thrill to be here. Look at this room. Look around. Lots of enthusiastic riders from New Bedford this morning, and I think it just highlights. This is our kind of March Madness, I'd say, all right? Thank you, Governor, and thanks to the entire team who's made this possible. Today is more than just your typical ribbon-cutting ceremony. You can tell that from the energy in this room. This is a historic milestone for the communities on the South Coast. You're going to see the impact right away. As the governor mentioned, families coming up to tour colleges, and that is going to be vice versa. There's going to be a lot of people from the 617 coming this way as well. The impact is going to be important in terms of growing economies, allowing people to discover not only what this commuter rail service means, but what your communities mean. I've seen that up close for many years as the mayor of a commuter rail city in Salem. We're the busiest stop in the MBTA commuter rail system, at least for now. I have a feeling Fall River and New Bedford might have something to say about that. But I've seen it up close for many years, the incredible impact that having safe, reliable access via commuter rail to your community can be. We have it from Boston to Salem. It goes north of us as well. I've seen the commuter rail deliver sort of a turbocharged approach to our city's economy. There's no way we can manage things like Halloween, large-scale festivals without a train, get people up to our waterfront. visiting our historic museums, places that are open all year round. It's just an easier way to get there. You can drive to Salem up 1A, not the most fun, or you can take the commuter rail, ideal. You can drive to New Bedford and Fall River down 24, probably not the most fun. Now you can get on a rail experience and really see parts of your community. I was on sitting with Mayor Mitchell. We were talking about, you see parts of your community from the train that you don't see from the car or even as a pedestrian somewhere. It's going to open up new possibilities. It's allowed us to be able to scale up events in a tourism-based community, making sure that attractions can build out itineraries built for the weekend, where you're going to have free commuter rail on the weekends. What a great way to come and experience, whether it's the Whaling Museum in New Bedford or Battleship Cove in Fall River, or the amazing festivals and feasts and art galleries in Taunton. There's so much to see and do and ways that you can gin up your local economy, continuing to see it thrive and grow. You can see people coming off the train and right away know those are customers. It's a captive audience coming to see what you have to offer. And anyone knows you can't have TOD, transit-oriented development, without the T. Well, we've got the T now with these stops, and I'm so pleased to hear Mayor O'Connell talk about the housing that's happening. A key need we have is infrastructure, housing supports, so that people can afford to live in this amazing place. It's going to be easier to deliver that with commuter rail. That's why for local people, a rail means a lot. It means local economies, it means growth, it means new businesses, stronger downtowns, and vibrant neighborhoods. And that's what this administration wants to support. So while these trains are being activated today, and we've all enjoyed, many of us have enjoyed taking the train up from either New Bedford or Fall River, it's really about the pathways to the future that are going to be created. The opportunity for workers, for people who want to go to school, who want to explore additional neighborhoods and housing opportunities. We owe it to the people who have believed in this vision for so many years. They fought for it to make it a reality, and today it's here. Congratulations. The future is on board. Massachusetts, let's get on train. It's now my distinct pleasure to introduce the Secretary of Transportation, Monica Tibbits-Nutt.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, and thank you, Governor. This has been a very, very long day coming, and I have to say, being able to take the train this morning, being able to talk to many people, especially some city councilors who have been waiting much longer than I have, it really is a monumentous celebration today. South Coast Rail means more than just trains. It means more than just options. This really is about greater accessibility. It's about connection, and it really is about opening up a region that has been very difficult to get to for quite a while. As the governor said, passenger rail has been a major priority of this administration, and there has been no kicking the can. It really has been focused on doing very, very hard things, but doing them very quickly and actually making progress in a way that we haven't seen before. And it takes a team to make this possible. I have a really great teammate and a really great partner in the general manager, and he has a fantastic leadership team, not just at the T, but at DOT, that has made this day possible. They are the ones who are the unsung heroes. They're the ones that are out here 24 hours a day. They're the ones that have really, truly made this possible. So I really want to say thank you to all of them. Without that group, this day wouldn't be possible. And without leadership like the general manager, it makes it very difficult for these teams to have the resources they need to be able to do what they know they need to do. And it really is about leadership. Leadership matters. Leading with empathy, and persistence. That is what makes these projects possible. I want to say that today really isn't about just a ribbon cutting. It is about our future and the future of the Commonwealth and the future of all 351 of our municipalities. In a state as economically diverse as Massachusetts, where people commute from rural towns to cities and everywhere in between, rail represents much more than a ride. It is a symbol of access. It is a symbol of opportunity, to mobility, and to one each other. We honor the many hands and voices that made this possible. The milestone doesn't just mark the completion of a project, it is really laying the foundation for expanding public transit that works for everyone. Transportation changes lives. It shapes whether someone can get a job, whether they can go to a school, whether they can reach a doctor. It affects our local businesses, family planning, and our quality of life. Rail symbolizes connection. With new services linking GATRA and SRTA, residents now have more ways to move and more ways to thrive. I look forward to seeing how we can continue to build this service across southeastern Massachusetts, and above all, being able to do it together. Because rail isn't just about all the many things that we've already talked about, but it really is truly a symbol of hope. Hope for a region and a hope for a Commonwealth. Here in Massachusetts, and especially with this administration, we can do big things. Very, very big things. And when we work together, state, local, and regional partners, we don't just move trains, we move the future of the Commonwealth. With that, I just want to thank you all for coming here today, and thank you all, especially those that have been fighting for this for decades. Thank you not only as a secretary, but even more as a resident. You have made this amazing place even more wonderful to live in. So thank you. And now I want to invite up who I think is the best partner and teammate, General Manager Phil Ng.
Wow. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Secretary. It's a fantastic day to be here in Taunton. I do have to thank the crew, the team, Darren McAuliffe, and everyone else from mass.gov and MBTA who put together this whole event, working with the governor's team. It's phenomenal. But I also want to say, as I stand here and as I listen to what the governor said, the lieutenant governor, the mayors, and the secretary, and then I see the passion and enthusiasm, it just really hits home on why public service and the ability to impact people's lives is so meaningful and rewarding. And I have to thank you, Governor, for making me a part of your team and allowing me the privilege and honor of being part of MBTA and mass.gov. Nothing more rewarding than seeing the excitement here. It's fantastic. And it really is a team. It's an opportunity. And you've believed in our workforce, and you've helped us rebuild our workforce. And that has given us the ability to not only do what we're doing in delivering the capital projects, but it's running the level of service that we need to do. It's life-changing opportunities public transportation brings to all communities across the entire Commonwealth. So, Governor, under your leadership, we have been rebuilding a mass transit system, not only for today, but for generations to come. I know that. And thank you to the legislature, the Southeastern Massachusetts delegation, our federal partners at the Federal Rail Administration, and the residents and communities have advocated for so long for this vital service, to our operator, Keolis, and to the MBTA workforce, our operations group, our engineering group, our capital delivery group, including our project executive, Karen Anton. I think she's somewhere here. She brought it across the finish line. Gene Fox, lifelong South Coast Rail Project member, right? As well as the consultants, the contractor firms, all of who contributed to make today possible. We made this all, it was all together, it is a team, all of us. And there has not been passenger service here for over 6 decades, right? Or since the 50s, I'm told. But today is the first day of service, and there's already been over a dozen trains today. That's fantastic. From Boston, East Taunton, we stand. It's phenomenal to know that we're running robust service. So no matter what role everyone has had, whether it's big or small, everyone has contributed to help this service to Fall River, New Bedford, Commuter rail line a reality. So today, starting today, we are offering 32 direct trips every 70 minutes between Boston and Fall River and New Bedford. That's phenomenal. And on weekends, we will be 26 trips every day, every 2 hours. In addition to these direct trips, we're offering shuttle trains to provide riders the flexibility to ensure that they can catch a connection if they miss a direct route. And each of the 6 stations you should be proud of, as you can see, fully accessible, state-of-the-art, modern, so all riders of all abilities can board the trains. The coaches are modern, they're spacious, and the trains are safe. The MBTA and Keolis have successfully performed over 1,000 functional safety tests to achieve FRA concurrence so we could run service today. The operators have invested countless hours memorizing the entire routes that they drive, down to every signal, every part of the track, so they could be certified to operate the trains. And I'd be remiss not to mention a few others that have demonstrated how collaborative an effort this has been. I have the best team. If there's any group that could deliver, as the Secretary mentioned, my COO, Ryan Caholen. Executive Director of Commuter Rail, Mike Muller, somewhere in the crowd. Chief Railroad Officer, Mike Rooks. And I know he couldn't be here today, but Chief Engineer Sam Zhao. And our partners at Keolis, instrumental as well, CO Abdullah Chalai, and the proud Keolis labor workforce, whose timely training and certifications led to this early start here in March. I want to thank the entire MBTA workforce, including operators, planners, and support staff, for their dedication to delivering quality service, a robust schedule, effective communication so the public could know about this service, and ensuring that over successful integration of a new commuter rail line into our overarching MBTA system. I have immense gratitude for the unions, contractors, subcontractors, and suppliers for their dedication in delivering this service as well. We're all committed to providing a top-tier, best-in-class rider experience. So I want to thank our regional transit authority as well, SRTA and GATRA. They all contribute to that connectivity, first mile, last mile. They've been present in Southeast Massachusetts, providing public transportation to the local communities, and now they're helping us to expand our possibilities for commuter rail into and out of Boston. And I recognize the trust that the riders and local communities have placed in the MBTA to make good on our promises to deliver safe, accessible, reliable service. So I want to thank them for giving us the opportunity to prove that we can deliver. We hope you take advantage of this service, the fare-free rides that are available through the end of this month, and the free weekends through the end of April. And I want to emphasize, service is bi-directional. It's both directions. And whether you're stopping locally or you're taking the entire trip, it's going to be robust. The South Coast Rail project is for students and staff to commute to UMass Dartmouth, to Bridgewater State University, and Bristol Community College. Yes. It's for Boston residents who want to make their way home to Fall River without traffic to worry about. It's for New Bedford professionals who want to work in Taunton, Quincy, or Boston's financial districts, but don't have a car. South Coast Rail is for everyone to use and to enjoy. The Fall River New Bedford line will be a vital part of the MBTA network for years to come. We remain committed to improving, and meeting the evolving needs of our riders, ensuring that this new line helps drive growth, prosperity for the entire region and the Commonwealth. So thank you again for allowing me to be part of this milestone. We'll look forward to seeing you on board the trains as we embark on this new chapter in Massachusetts and public transportation. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Michael Sullivan, the CEO of One South Coast Chamber.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And I think 90% of what I was going to say you've already heard. We have, South Coast is, we call it 19 cities and towns. If you're in Taunton, you might call it 32 cities and towns. It's this fantastic place to live, work, and play, driven by two great cities, by New Bedford and Mayor Mitchell. We're so glad you're here. And Fall River. It's two great cities, and now two great cities with the South Coast Rail. There's certain, I like to call them opportunities. I don't like to call them challenges. The opportunities that South Coast Rail creates for our region is just phenomenal. And I won't get into naming the schools because the general manager just named them all. But we have outstanding higher education, 2-year, 4-year, and who's been getting really creative, working with the legislator and how you pay for it so people can go to school and not have debt and all those types of things. It's really incredible what's happening. And South Coast Rail is a major piece of the puzzle in how to get people around and how you transport these folks everywhere to where they need to get to. Somebody had said to me, well, if I want to take the train and I want to work in one of the two cities industrial parks, they said, how do I do that? And I said, well, I might not have that specific answer for you right now, but I know a lot of people that we can work together. We got great regional bus services that can help us figure that out. And but this creates the opportunity that somebody can come from Brockton and get down, take the train, get to Fall River, get to downtown New Bedford, and then we have to figure out how to get them so that we have more jobs filled, which Lord knows in this economy we do need to fill jobs. And it also creates great opportunities for housing. Housing is currently, I think, the single greatest challenge that we have. Just the cost of housing, the cost of getting more houses on the market. We need to get more housing built, and there's just so much work to do with that. But South Coast Rail is going to help, and it's all made. There's all these pieces to this huge puzzle that we're working on at the Chamber, and we're working with so many different organizations collaborating, including all of the legislature, the governor's office, everybody. It's a great place to be. And I can tell you, if I don't say this, Chris Santarell is going to kill me when I get back to the office, but it's also tourism driven. She's right here. It's also tourism related because the people in Boston need to come to the South Coast. I'm telling you, they can come and get the greatest food in so many different communities. There's so much happening. There's new restaurants that are opening, restaurants being renovated. It's really, you look at all the great things that are happening in New Bedford over the last few years. You look at the Duval Street project in Fall River, which is directly affected by the train. There's probably no project that is going to be more or directly affected than that Duval Street project. So we have a lot of great stuff that's happening, and it's all related to South Coast Rail. So thank you to so many people. I'm not going to thank everybody again individually, but thank you so much to so many people because it really, South Coast Rail is just another piece in the cog that is making the economy grow so much. So thank you very much. And I'm going to turn it over now to Mary Ellen DeFrias from the Greater Attleboro-Taunton Regional Transit Authority. I think I got that right.
All right, well, good morning, everyone. On behalf of GATRA and all 15 Massachusetts RTAs, welcome to East Taunton Station. Thank you, Governor Healey, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, Secretary Tibbits-Nutt, General Manager Eng, our GATRA Board Chair, Mayor O'Connell, as well as all of the elected officials who took the time to be here this morning for this momentous occasion. It is especially great to see the former chair of the Joint Committee of Transportation, Bill Strauss, who not only advocated for South Coast Rail, but for equitable RTA funding, which allows us to be here supporting this station. So South Coast Rail has been a long time in the making. It was actually amazing to get to ride from my hometown of New Bedford to East Taunton, which is my new work town. While many of my fellow RTAs collaborate with the MBTA across the state, this morning I want to focus on the importance of bringing South Coast Rail to this region. The RTAs are here to build on the growth of the MBTA and connecting communities to rail and economic opportunity. We start with BAT in Brockton Area Transit, connecting the stations in the Brockton area. Here at GATRA, we are excited to expand our work for both the East Taunton and Lakeville stations, opening more opportunities for our residents to appreciate Boston, but also for those in Boston to come and enjoy everything the South Coast has to offer. My counterpart SRTA is just as excited to connect riders in their service area of New Bedford and Fall River. And finally, New Bedford has the opportunity for people to access Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket ferries, giving entrees to those RTAs as well. So we're tying in all the RTAs here. In conclusion, the partners in Massachusetts Transportation, the MBTA Rail, and all of the RTAs are poised to work together to create reliable transportation, connecting the state for that ever important first last mile. It is now my honor to ask the governor to come back up for some closing remarks. Thank you so much.
All right. Hey, you guys have been sitting around long enough. We appreciate that. I see you too, Brian Kane. Look, I thought it was really cool throughout to hear the dings and the horns and like trains. Like that was happening, okay? So we did a big presser, but the trains were still running. And you saw those people scurry out. I got a little nervous for half a second, but then I realized they were just scurrying out to go catch the next train, which is awesome. So thanks again to everybody who made this possible. Get out there, make a plan, ride a train this month, okay?